Test, test, test. I think those are worn out.
You've used to the last bit. To the last bit. It's
Yeah, they're coming in now. Hang on.
yeah. I hope everyone's being doing well and the energy's been treating you all. And however, and know that you have the ability to always go into the energetic fields and just marinate a bit. Marinate. Uh, feels like everybody's getting marinated.
Marinated.
Yeah, when you're trying to put something, it's almost ripe in timing. Everybody's going through a process,
Right.
so
Well,
it
you're.
is.
What's Morgan laughing about? Okay, we got 28 people in the house. Um, what did you want to come back and talk about? No, before the show started.
Oh, oh, everybody seems to be doing on their own process, and it's really seeing a shift in the community, and really loving and honoring everybody's process. Really, it's just like I see you, I love you, connect when you're ready. And I'm seeing other people stepping into the energetic field that's saying, hey, I have some energetic frequency code exchanges that are being done. And there's so much that is being able to be created. And as well as a ton of people going through a metamorphosis in their codes as well. I'm seeing expansion.
Yeah, that was a lot of information.
Well, it's interesting because I don't even know when time frame, or I just remember certain things like watching Judith Kusel last time you had her on was
Yeah.
a ton of code, a ton of giant code. And I got slapped with memories of a child of, well, I think I was 12, and it was, I think, 1999, and I was in seventh grade, and I was in, while I was connecting, it was watching the show, listening, and I'm in my computer at work, and I'm like, okay, quickly log into Word and get as much as things into it. You're gonna have to come back and revisit this, but it was around that time in history class, and they kept saying seven is being highlighted, and it was interesting because that was one of the first experiences that I did channeling art that I didn't remember until they kind of brought back the flashback, and then with it more memory and code for me to remember. It was very trippy.
Wow. So, your sisters been quiet? Like the people close to you, have you been talking to a
Yeah.
lot of?
Very close to me. No, they've been, everybody's doing their thing, and I totally love and respect all that they're doing their thing. And I check energetically, send them notes telling them, hey, love you, here for you. And people, I'm honoring their process. It really is honoring their process because everybody's doing a ton in their own way. And a lot of people are being pushed to look at themselves in a certain way, and others are looking forward to seeing what is the new thing that they want to create.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. It's been every month is just initiation. It's been wild.
Well, something has happened to you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're glowing. I mean, radiant and just, you're on your game. You're posting. How do you make those images, those graphics? Do you make those?
So I do. I have art and I do a ton of different things, and I get pulled to do a lot of different things. And in the moment of meditation, my active meditation is when I pull the energy in. And sometimes I start and then I put one away and I get more information. Because even now, to the very waking moment, before I open my eyes, I get a dose of last minute codes. And last night was a ton of sacred geometry. They're showing me sacred geometry, the shapes of it, and they're very, they had form, they have density, but they're showing me also the inner layings within it and everything else. So it's very interesting. I just go with the inner guidance and what the energy is feeling, and then I have amazing tools and stuff like that that I'm able to pull in and capture certain things and then draw it more deeply fine. Because, yeah, it just comes in. Some are really nice and pretty, and then some just look like a 3-year-old wrote it. And I'm being hard on myself in art, but yeah.
So, have you always been like this?
With art, yes, it's kind of
No, I
interesting
mean
because I
with
did
the
have.
like. I'm talking about.
Please, you have to be specific.
This is a very 5D frequency, maybe even higher. I don't know. No, I meant, have you always been like this much activity going on?
Oh, yes,
Because
yes,
when I
a
met
ton.
you, you had that kind of activity going on, and we did some stuff,
Yes.
on live, and everybody gets better and better. But your energy was totally different. Like I mean, like even when you send text and the way you send it, everything that you're doing now seems to be coming in very precise, very clear, very confident. I mean, I just see you like hitting a punching bag every night, or just howling like a wolf in your backyard. I don't. What's going on here? I mean, do you feel
So,
like you've do you feel like you've come into more balance?
yes, so I had, I call it a Shelley experience, more of the anchoring of the higher self within. Many people have different wordings. Some other people might call it a walk-in. I had already done that portion, and this one around, I saw the cues and everything else, and this is where the human is coming into the table and saying, "Hey, this is too much of this. I'm needing some shift into this." And I've been always having, Mercury, or the angel of communication, or the frequency of Mercury, which is the throat chakra and communication. There had been this balance, and the beautiful thing that really assisted was doing some workshops with Susanna Mara.
Okay.
That really did help clear up a ton of stuff, and I know I've connected to a couple of people that are very quite active in their throat chakra, that there's this energetic exchange that happens that really kind of bring that portion up, because there's few people that if I connect with them, I just go straight full channel, and it's the energy that they bring in and my energy matching that frequency. It says, I see you, I honor you as who you are, as a true being in essence, and that flow just kind of opens up and just really takes it off.
I'll say, I mean, is it just me, or am I having five different conversations with you? And I'm serious. I'm clear. I'm clear on every one of them. It's crazy listening to you. You're lit.
Yeah, I
So
think it's
what? So
just the
you said you
energy's been more open to flow. I think there's something really changed in the energy that really helped align with that more.
do you do you
And
do you think it? I mean, so much talk masculine, feminine. It wears on me a bit because we're all souls. But do you feel like there's been a gigantic, enormous feminine kind of stepping up, or do you think it's more of the masculine and the feminine finding, equilibrium?
you know what? I've done a ton of work on balancing that out, because I do have some imbalances in certain parts in the body and I feel it. And I really do talk to those places. And I'm really big on talking to the body, to the point that I'm so big on it that I actually talk to my car to
Yeah.
communicate, because it's also an extension of me, and I communicate with devices or an energy and everything else. And somebody even gave me a tip about the Wi-Fi and everything else, like how to kind of calibrate myself with it more so it comes out clear, because I know that when I go high vibe, sometimes I get super glitchy.
Yeah. That used to happen when you used to come on.
It happens sometimes still, but
This
it
is like
just
the
depends on
clearest
the
time you've ever
energy.
come in, ever, ever. Like totally clear. The whole picture's like 4D or HD or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, I don't know, from the experiences and really just surrendering to the path of that, of connecting with myself,
Yeah.
and connecting with everything within myself. And I'm seeing, just seeing the magic in everything. It's even with the gene keys to the astrological things, and just see them as information, and it's not 100% complete, guide, but that frequency that speaks into the genetics of the body, because I know the gene keys have a lot of the genomes and everything else that highlight. I've been doing a ton of work with that to really also open up the flow of channel of connection. And I do see that, and I've connected you in with Alicia, that she kind of read a little bit towards, my gene keys, and she was highlighting certain numbers, and I told her too, and I was like, I really do see how that frequency goes and works through the other frequency to bring in what I'm coding basically out. And it's
Man.
all in unity. It really is all in unity,
Yeah.
and that's one of the biggest codes that I have, is the unity codes in
Are you
oneness.
are you seeing more people that are doing what you're doing, like, coming into this balance, this multidimensional balance? Are you coming across people
Um,
like that, or
with
is
few people, yes,
yeah,
definitely, that are already doing that. And there's a few people that I know that they are trailblazing it all the way through, that this is part of what they're aiming for humanity to go towards.
mm,
And, continuing doing the inner work when it comes in up arises. Like, I know that I'm in the New Earth Grid group, and Morgan did a nice, really card pull for really us to also get cleared. And I can honestly say it triggered the shit out of me. But I was so happy to have that. I'm like, fuck
uh,
yes. I didn't know that shit was in my field. To
there's 7 conversations going on now. I know there is. I know it's not just me. Um, yeah, it's funny because if you do one, the next day you could be out for the whole day. I mean, in fact, that's probably what's been going on with me, because I did 4, I think, last week. But it's a powerful, powerful experience. I mean, because there's so many people all in the same field, openly, and with, aligned intentions.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it, is even from the beginning when we knew about this coming up, it kept coming up, because I've had sessions with other people where there basically comes in as saying anything that is being planted in frequency here can only grow with the intention of the highest integrity. There's we're already being creators of the other side, and we've learned how we might have perverted our energy in the past, that all those codes and frequency and the wisdom is really being pulled in, is saying, being a conscious creator, knowing how you're seeding what you're seeding in with the intention.
Yeah.
And even before then, sometimes it's really coming into the frequency and getting clear with why is it that you're trying to do something. Or sometimes, not all times, but it's a beautiful conversation within self that's really flourishing more.
I'll say. You are. Holy shit. Is it just me? I feel like I just woke up, got out of bed, and I'm still in that same frequency from when you were asleep. And I'm understanding every single thing you're saying, and there's like 4 or 5 streams going on at the same time, or more. It's
Yeah,
just
no, I feel it.
that's my experience. No, but seriously, you've always been connected since you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
And you had some relatives, or 1 or 2 relatives, that your grandmother or something, that was like a kundineta. What do they call it?
No, not
Kundeta.
my grandmother. It was a lady that came across my path to be a
Okay, that's
teacher.
right. That's right. Okay, so like, but it would seem to me like you had the same type of experience a lot of the light worker people, whatever we call ourselves, did, which is that you couldn't really fit in anywhere. And when I first met you, and we were doing it on Zoom, and you were signed in, I didn't know who you were, Delia from outer space, right? And so you really are an ET. but no, but what I'm saying is, has it gotten more comfortable? Do you feel like you're fitting in now, as opposed to your whole journey, where obviously you didn't feel like you belonged here like so many people, but do you feel like you're fitting in now?
So that's one of the biggest things that I had to really work through and really release, because as a child, it was always that outside looking in where everybody was hanging out. And to me, it was very the separation. Now I don't see it as separation, because I'm seeing and I'm acknowledging and connecting with people as you are me. And there's no separation. And if people like me or they don't like me, I don't give two fucks. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing, basically.
Well, that settles it right there. We're not going to 5D. We're going to 2F. Two fucks.
But see, this is the beautiful
So,
thing, that even with connecting and having the high vibrational energy, and I'm seeing people being more open, connecting. So I had even my friend who does my nails. So it's like an interesting trade. So she does my nails and I do energetic work, and other stuff in frequency. And she's been more and more open. She's in her 50s plus,
mhm.
and she's coming to me telling me, I always grew up with this. I don't know why I was so afraid. And, it's having that interesting discussion to allowing people to be open with themselves and having absolutely no judgment whatsoever in their part and what their belief systems were.
Yeah, yeah. Stay in your own lane. You see some people, it's all moving so fast. You don't even have to go on to Facebook for. You can pick up energy very quick. Everything is like that, and
And yeah,
I mean, I
like that's
think,
how it feels.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's so much that if I can laugh throughout the day, my heart, the heart's coming in a lot, so you can have those moments. We used to go run with those moments because they were so, oh my God, I love you, da 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 da. Getting melodramatic about experiences when really this is our natural state. Because there's times my heart is just like, it stops me in my tracks. I'll be walking around the house and all of a sudden I'll just think of something. I'll think of Morgan, something will pop up and I'll be like, oh my God, just sit with this. And it's for the first time in my life I've experienced it this with this much frequency, but and the depth, that's pretty
Yeah,
mind
there's
blowing.
that's the beauty of it too. I'm seeing less and less, and there's only the times and connections is when it's relevant, and check in with myself. The relevance and anything when it's shared. And by the way, thank you so much for also giving us the meme life in the
The what?
Soulogy group. The meme life.
The meme life?
Yeah, without those memes, they're hella funny. It helps break up the energy.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. Well, I always try to, different things and watch different things. And that's how I felt. I guess that's what you do when you post. I mean, even when we don't want to admit it, we're posting something about our energy most of the time, really. So, yeah, I just thought, well, that's how I feel now. Like, I want to laugh. I laugh when I find those memes. I laugh. I have tears running down my face. My stomach starts hurting. So, I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. We're sharing our present energy, which is another reason those groups are, you know, so that's new too. I mean, like it's one thing for an empath to go into into a classroom with, Parents' Day at school, and there's all these people, and and you feel everybody. But there's another thing to go into a space, and everybody's got the same intent, and everybody's got the same awareness.
Yeah, it does make something entirely different because you get to pick up on the energetic frequency.
Yeah.
How even when we don't connect to somebody or they're sharing anything, you can pick up the energy that they might be carrying some fairy energy, or you can just pick up the frequency. And when they start talking and start sharing code into it, you're like, oh, okay, this is where it's coming from. And it's lovely to see those expansions with everything that is coming about with everybody, and it is sharing in the code with intention at the highest integrity, with pure heart.
Yeah. I mean, what am I going to say to that? That was a hell of a roll. Yeah.
Just tripping out your third eyes, just shifting so much.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there's something going on here. I had an experience 2 nights ago, and I went to see my friends that live on top of a mountain. Literally, he gets, spotty internet and whatever. And I went over there, and I just happened to walk up on a crawfish boil. My friend's birthday is, around this time, and his wife's family is from Lafayette, Louisiana, where they, are true Kunasses, right? So they brought up all this crawfish, and they're having this party, and I walk up, and there's all these, some people from the country with beards like really long, really just, real people, country people, and then there were some other people there, and all different ages, and everywhere I went, all I could see was their soul. And I'm half laughing. And then these really synchronistic things happen. I met this person who knew another person who owned a bunch of property in the town where I was looking to try to find a place for the Soulogy Fest. So all this stuff happened, but it was this energy. It was almost like giggly energy, and it was like a 5D experience. It was amazing. So that's what this feels like to me. So anything's possible, and I think that's
Yeah, I
another.
think that it's becoming that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and again going back to the groups, I think that's another thing that I'm considering, which is we're going in there, which we've all done individually. Then we might have done it with a partner, and then now there's a whole group of people that are using what we call the imagination or the intuition or the telepathy, all three and everything else, and creating this stuff, which in my mind is going to bring it into the physical reality, like things appearing on somebody's head or whatever, whatever it is.
Yeah, I do see that's already coming in about in frequency, because I sometimes share the codes in the group when I do some that I see on New Earth, and sometimes afterwards I'll share them out publicly. But I do see that there is a ton of people that also write something similar to what's going on. So even our experience, well, I can't even remember if it was yesterday.
No kidding.
um, that experience and everything else, because I start seeing things before they happened, and I saw that image while I was at yoga, basically of myself brighter and shinier. I didn't get it right away, but afterwards it was just like, this is where we're moving towards. This is where we're moving towards in frequency, to really allow the dimensional frequency that we carry to really be shown. And it's really letting us choose if you want to play into that field. Because even before that came out, it asked us if we were okay to merge with it. I don't, overall, in the energy,
There's
whatever
something.
that was present for them. What's going on?
Oh, this is a yeah. There's something coming out of your head.
I can feel a tongue coming out.
It looks like a Y. It looks like that, like a Y that's filled in at the top. I'm sorry. I just had to. I'm sure nobody else saw that. I mean, it couldn't. It couldn't just be me. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'm
So
tripping
did
out. I'm seeing light frequency in your I'm like, I almost want to take a picture of it and draw it, but at the same time I'm very mindful of that energetic frequency, because
what
when you're
does
doing an art place with light language on somebody, it does make creation. So I only do that with myself and family, and they know that. But I would not take somebody's without permission and draw on there. I just think it's very, it's so weird, but I see that there is having to do with permission. And to me, in my energetic being and how it was taught always by Raphael is you have to ask. I don't know what's going on. What's
Part, oh my God. Part of me is one is going, what in the hell are you saying? And the other part of me is going, I understand everything you're saying. I understand all these 5 different conversations. Oh my God.
I think it's your third eye that's throwing me off because it's making so many shapes. Oh, I think I'm talking to that part. It
So,
does.
so okay. So, do you like throughout your day, do you, or at night, do you ever like sit down or lay down and go, okay, I'm going to connect, I'm going to channel, I'm going to automatic write or whatever? Do you ever do
I
that?
do that every day, even at work. I'll be at work doing processing and doing something, and then boom, something comes in. And I have a notebook. I'll pull it out and I'll start writing something, or I'll log in real quick on my computer on my office drive online, and then just go into my notes and run something. And it sounds like jarble when I read it back, but it does bring connections to what the stream of the frequency that was coming in.
Well, what do you do with all this material? What do you do with
You
these?
know what, I've been writing a ton, and some I share, some I just keep. I'm being getting nudged, and I did have a website, but the energy was not correct then, and I just collapsed that. I collapsed it. I pulled it away, and I have a ton where I think I'm just gonna write and share it out when it feels relevant. Because regarding even those two, even the posts back then, I'll get pulled to look at this. There's something bigger here, and then I remember more, and then kind of make a bigger connection to what is being done now. It's just like you've been doing all these things that I'm doing, is being inner guidance to doing it to a bigger scale, and the more awareness that we gain from what we're doing to continue building on that. And it's all in, you know, overall, it's the inner part of within. I think it's the architect, the artist, that part that really just knows how to create.
I don't know what to say. You're leaving me speechless. I mean, but yeah, we might have to like you're just like flow, like just without missing a beat. You got like it's like really
Well, this is how I talk, and I
no,
guess
no.
people
I'm
might
I'm
call it,
totally
yeah,
digging it. It's totally fits
yeah.
the present.
Well, see,
Uh,
this is the difference. Then I would have to kind of pull back a lot
yeah,
because the flow was very different to now, and a
yeah.
lot of people might call it my ADHD, but it's as I run in high dimensional frequency, I'm in 5 different places sometimes at the same time, getting information, and sometimes I gain awareness of certain things, sometimes I don't. But I don't have any attachment to whatever goes on. I know there's work being done, and whatever's in front of me will present itself in frequency for me to work with.
Cheers. I'm you're on. Um, but this is a different type of conversation, and that's I'm laughing about it because it's funny, and I'm loving that we're laughing about it. But that's part of it. It's like I think we're going to be in that type of frequency where you actually have this high level, clear, lucid, fluid, multi stream, and you have all the other elements, all the other frequencies are just like right on, and laughter is part of it. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you on a personal level having to adjust from not being able to fully let your frequencies out like you are, and either short circuiting or pulling it back like you said with the
Yeah.
website. So now you're able to do this. I mean, it's been coming through in your post. You know, it's been coming through every time I've seen you. The last time you were on here, it's like a crazy amazing, and today you're just blowing my mind. But like, is it easier for you now? Does it feel easier, or you just don't give two F's? Like you just
It's
is it?
easier. It is
Yeah,
easier. I feel I check in with myself with it, because even when I channel code, there's messages forming the frequency, and even communing in frequency, it might come in before, it may come back after, but I get more information, and I always allow the energy of what's coming through to speak at least. And that a lot of it comes out in small little sentences that sometimes might not make sense, but the energetic frequency is there and people can grab that energetic code.
yeah, yeah. So you want to do like a channel? I want to know, like,
um
who do you talk to? Yeah.
Well, see, this is a difference. I've actually had that happen in a session. I had a session with somebody that they booked a session with me, and I told them, they asked me a question while I was in mid channel, and they answered through me because she asked a question. So I told, and I when I that happened, I pulled back and I said, "Oh, I've never done that before. I guess this is part of something that we're able to tap into." But the answer was, it is always an energy that comes in that needing to knows more information of the answer of what's being shared. Who do I connect to? It's my team, my frequency, my higher self, everything that is with me in oneness. I don't see them as separate of me. And at the same time, in frequency, they come in as energetic beings, whatever they are. I don't attach or slap a label on it. I just let it flow, because before even then connecting, I always have those energetic frequencies that is only through source wisdom and connection. And I work a lot with the wisdom flame, with the yellow flame of light, basically, of truth and wisdom and everything, because it holds all the record of everything. It holds the records of connection, that polarity to the brightest, but you have the frequency to connect in the energy to give into the basically not give into. You're giving energetic frequency to speak the light and frequency of what is truth, for that. And it depends on the energetics of what's being presented. Boy, that was a ton.
My fucking sister, man. It's a badass curandera right there.
Oh man.
Bruja Blanquita.
But
So,
see, this is, go ahead.
no, by all means, you, ladies first. You know, please, please. I'm absolutely enjoying this. Maybe this is how it's going to go from here out. You know, every
Well,
connection we have is, yeah. Oh, so go ahead. Did you want to say something, or I can
no,
ask?
I just completely lost. So you're,
So,
what were you gonna say?
okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Because as I'm listening to your five streams and totally getting all of it, not even understanding how I can be, I'm also getting other ones. And so, like, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm just going to ask you a question. I guess you already know. Okay. All right. So let's come up with a question. Um, God, I'll let you
No,
come up.
I'm out of my way. Go ahead.
Oh, you're out of your way. Okay. Um, so what what aspects or how many aspects are embodied in you with a clear connection and voice?
She's fully aware that she has multi-streams, and she knows the frequency of the multi-streams. A lot of them are very hard connections to the Egyptian times, for she remembers a lot of frequency that has come in, but not as a human. So she has that energetic codes. She has ancient codes that she holds, and then there's others that, when we connect to those, will reveal ourselves.
All right. Uh, do you know what this thing is on my head?
I'm hearing the word seal, but at the same time, it changes. It's energetic shifts. It is the way that we sometimes transmit in frequency. I'm seeing a giraffe at the same time a dolphin, and it's like the cochlear frequency energetics. It's how we transmit more frequency, and as well as other things that they're able to do and connect with in frequency. Shuntua, shuntua, shuntua.
How much of what we will call the future, even the near future, like one day out, a week out, a month out, how much of the future is already predetermined? Or how much of it is not, which obviously would be in our control?
I'm seeing a ton of beings coming, trying to see what the best way to gather and give that information out. Think of it as the way as a pathway. Even though the structures are there, the possibilities are there. Now that there is more divine free will and people in the divine awareness connecting with themselves in sovereignty, they're able to clean the slate in frequency, and it's in this now moment they are creating. Alongside the energetics in the vibration is what's creating your potentialities. Anything that you're putting into the energetic field is creating your potentiality for the future. So if you're distracting yourself with other things and not looking at yourself, you're connecting and creating those things, perpetuating. This is what the cycle of karma has caused many people to lose themselves. The more that you connect with yourself and bring in as you are creating your story, owning that, because you are now in the co-creator consciousness. You have the pen in your hand and you're able to create what you want. You are the architect within yourself. That also includes the genetic codes in the frequency, access to it with that, and as well as what you want to create and how you connect with other energies. You are your master of self. And this is what's coming into the frequency of the divine free will of humanity. And it is sovereignty. And I know that words might be limiting for many people, but is also expanding in the energy of words in what is meaning. There's depth. It's not just the root of the word. It is in the energetic frequency that you're able to feel. That's what we leave you with that. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, big one.
You, yeah. Take a break or come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
I'm
Okay.
used to this frequency. I'm used to
Oh,
the
okay.
frequency.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, I want to try to ask something personal, but it's not personal. You know, so you still have your sense of humor. So, as the individual goes, so goes the collective. Because also, as we look at you, as you referred to as her, we see ourselves. So, let me just frame the question. So, in these transitions, many of us are going through swift transitions of depletion to abundance, movement from homes and jobs, relationships, etc. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, as you're being depleted, and I think we might call this tested or being patient or however you want to call it, we've seen this cycle over and over. It seems to get very bare bones down to nothing before the abundance comes in. How do
Yeah,
we?
that
Yeah, okay, you got it. Go ahead.
that really strips away to the self of really trusting in full surrender. when you go into the fear mode of how am I going to do this, and you're still holding into the lack mentality, because really it is part of the lack mentality. It is testing you, but then again, you created this portion for you to really release parts that you did not have in your field before, that you really are really bringing it up. And it might be ancestral, it might be lineage, it might be something that you've also created within yourself, and is really taking a hold and having more awareness of it. Once you connect with that awareness and you're able to shift it, it becomes quicker. And you're seeing the abundance come in, and you're seeing how also mentality of humanity, where they're thinking abundance because we've been programmed in the frequency to shinto, tonto, shinto, etantua. It really is acknowledging that abundance comes in, as well as people, places, and things. It might be an experience, it might be a connection, it might be something, but it's the abundance in the connection that gives you the fruits of Doshantua experience. And we're showing you more that this is the experience that you're needing to fully trust in that, and not have the inverted portion of where energy and money and those things that are needing to complete life with.
Okay. Excellent. 3 days of darkness, a solar flash where people go to sleep, metaphorics, a literal. What can you tell us about that?
A lot of it is a yes and no, because again, it is always in your co-creation. If you want to experience that, that is what you will create. A lot of people will not experience that. A lot of people have surpassed a lot of those energetic frequencies that are already superseding and holding the frequency in the new grid, as well as the fifth dimensional frequency of that. And there's a lot of people that are still here wanting to create the organic 3D. And that's beautiful to see that there's many people that are coming on that are wanting to create in a pure state what they're needing to create in the 3D, to make sure that all those people that are not there yet to be able to move over to that frequency. This is playing in the field in the energetics, because in the end, we are the true bridges of the energy coming in to being able to move through the frequency and shifts. Even though you're asking about the 3 days, we're saying that that's metaphoric in a lot of different places in energy. But then again, this is the thing. Other people might experience those things. There might be 3 days of pure bliss, pure diamond light, and crystalline frequency. It might be a giant flash. It might be other things. It might look different to them, because in their energetics, that is what their experience is not to limit one person within that. I didn't experience this flash, I guess I am left behind. And we like these bunny ears, by the way. Oh my God, they're hilarious.
I almost swallowed my
Oh
coffee.
no.
Okay, I totally get what you're saying. That's the absolutely, I 100% agree. And in essence, as an example, you said this early, was many people have aligned and whatever with activated these higher frequencies that are basically represented by this period of 3 days. And there's all different timelines, really. But let me get back to a question I forgot. So, in terms of it all happening at the same time for everyone, and everyone knows it, and we're all in the same place, that's not even going to happen, from what you're saying, because some people want to still build in a pure organic 3D, right? Some people want to go to 5D or other places. They're really, I guess the question is there going to be a a time and a place when we're all together and we all acknowledge the experience together? Or is it always going to be this multi?
I'm getting that there will be, but this also the thing is getting the frequency of the timestamp of time. It's a human construct that it was created to keep us into the energetics. And them getting shown that even the energetics, if you think of quantum overall entanglement, they all exist in the same frequency. It's just collapsed as one. And time, presence, past, present, and future are simultaneously happening, as well as I mean, can get really entangled. If you're looking at the possibilities and alternate possibilities, you can dip in and out in frequency. But can be more for those that want to expand into that. There's plenty of, I guess this is coming in because you had a question towards dimensionality shifting or travel.
No, you're good.
There's something there that you're talking about travel. I think I'm hearing here.
Okay. Well, I can feel what's happening. Wow. So, in terms of anything, like if I want to teleport or somebody else has their own perception of teleportation or time or whatever, anything could happen at any time for anyone. But in a collective sense, okay, anything could happen for anyone at any time, is I guess my question. Regardless of what unfolds in a collective narrative, any of us can achieve anything instantaneously now, or would that be coming later or at all?
I get this energy that's like always wanting to run before learning how to crawl, humans. It's kind of like an endearing thing that's coming in, and it's just like really old because we're the children, basically. We're the newborns in the block. The frequency is just basically showing there has to be steps. There might be people that do quantum leaps. There might be others that are learning and getting the frequency, that are anchoring the energy so they can achieve that. I mean, we have an kind of frequency. They're saying frequency, but I'm seeing history, where that's been possible in the past. And, we have monks that have been able to connect and do a tons of work. And they're showing me of things where there's been a lot of energy. They're saying frequency. They're assessing that as part of history. And it is within us to be able to connect with that, because I know there's people that can bilocate. There might be other people that might do different things. But the more that we explore in those energies is the more that we're able to access. And I know that there is certain things and technologies that are not available to us currently at this moment, or might be present that are hidden, but eventually in the future, however that might be for those lifespans, because they don't see past dimensionality in history and time.
Jesus.
They're saying that might be possible, but it might be just everything that can be achieved is the longest with this integrity that nobody's wanting to make a change. A lot of people have already done a lot of damage, and then they're showing me frequencies of histories once again of disasters. They're showing me disasters where energetically somebody was manipulating in seeing a bridge. Is that Philadelphia? Where they had a ton of stuff. I'm hearing Mothman, this connection there. This is how they really, really fucked up the energies into it. That got, what's the best? Distorted. That's the best word. Distorted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was their tool. Will I get a house and the finances to be able to get a house by the end of the month?
Sorry, I'm just waiting for see who's gonna come up to talk.
No, I feel the
there.
I feel the heaviness of it. Not heavy in a bad way, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
Give it to me straight. Give it to me straight.
there's feeling like there's an opening coming up. It might not be the time frame, but no matter what, it just feels like it's going to land when it needs to land. I don't know what that means. They're not giving me a definite answer, but I'm getting that there's no need to worry.
Or should I go to Mexico?
They're saying to be open to the shift and how it comes about. I don't know if they're staying in the area. I mean, I know that intent is wanting to stay in the area. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting shown a ton of greenery, rocks. I don't know if that's a mountain. So they're saying there will be peace in heaven no matter where you go. I guess it's because it's your connection to nature.
Yeah. I'm good. I just thought we'd throw in the personal ones and see what happens because you're. So yeah, let's.
Well, this is the thing too.
Yeah.
I normally don't get into when I do readings something personal, too personal. If it's helping a person connect to themselves and everything else, I'll go full blown into it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that portion of like wanting to give a timetable because we know that timetable is already out the door.
I know. And the thing is I saw you, right? I saw this version of you, this kind of lavender, kind of feline lyran type. It's like lavender with this white or soft purple two-tone thing going, galactic, and then after I asked the question, that immediately popped in, and then all these brothers stepped up, and you started talking, and I was listening to everything, and they were talking to me too, and it was basically like, she ain't gonna give you any information.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
In other words, you're gonna know as much when you get through with this as you did as you walked into it. It's like talking to myself. It's like talking to my higher self. That part where, we can't tell you because that takes it all the fun out of it or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
that's what I felt too, because I was like, is this resistance from my part? I know that I don't do this, but at the same time, it's part of something that I've written within myself that
Yeah.
I never give people information of, you're going to find your love at this moment, at this time, their
Yeah.
name is going to be this.
Yeah.
Let me draw your soulmate.
Well, and the answer
That
was accurate. The answer was accurate anyway. And it was everything I'm feeling. Like, it'll come when it comes.
so I just thought that, or should I run away to Mexico? Morgan's laughing.
Well, that's a long story. No, I think that was quite a way to start Monday morning.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Morgan sent me the possibility of dates, and then I chose a date that she didn't even, I got pulled to this date. And I didn't realize that full moon / eclipse thing until afterwards. I think a couple weeks afterwards, I was like, when am I on again? And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw, I know, I see the schedule and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, this is perfect to really have that many people and who's coming in. Like Christy Lee after this, I love her energy and all the things that she gives. It's going to be an interesting overall to listen to her and then find all those things into the frequency, because that's just a whole other energy, and she's super connected.
Yeah. What I feel is like it's Monday. This is how my world runs. Monday morning, and you go till Friday, maybe do a show or on the weekend. So the energy always presents itself. And so if this is how the week is going to be, there's going to be a lot of laughs, a lot of intel, a lot of merging, a lot of collaboration, creativity. I mean, this is cool. Yeah, I'm digging it. 175 people in the house. So I'm looking at this damn timer and it says 55. It's about to say 55, 55. Oh my God. I think it's going to be a really, really uplifting, powerful, powerful 2 weeks. Like phenomenal.
Yeah, and then we're heading up even towards June, and then as we progress closer towards Zoology Fest, I do feel the energy is just ramping up,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
setting the body. So what's going on with that?
Well, I told you I went to this. I went to go see my friends this weekend. I walked in on a crawfish party, and so I was at this place, my friend's house, on top of a mountain, and there was this. Oh, my friend tells me, you see that guy over there? His name's Tom. He's the local shaman on the mountain. So I ended up meeting Tom, and he's about my height. He's got white hair. He's got a white beard, same stature, and he's got his beard in a ponytail. And he's probably like 70. So we talked for a second, and then my friend told me, you see that lady over there? That's Tom's husband. Her name's Karen. Uh, you know how old she is? I said, no. Doesn't she look, not in a bad way. He wasn't being rude. He said, isn't she, a beautiful lady? And he says, she's 65. I said, wow. But then I ended up talking to both of them. First I was talking to her, and she said, why are you over here? I said, well, I came to see my friends, but I was at the bottom of the mountain. I was going to check on the possibility of having Soulogy Fest in the town or at this retreat next to it. And she said, long story short, I know the lady who owns the retreat. And she also owns a hotel and the bank building. And she's trying to like revitalize the little town. And we just hit it off. And I kept seeing all this purple, like aura. And this weird music was playing too, like angel music or something in my head. I don't know. It was really trippy. But anyway, so she said, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to, because I said, I'm looking for a place to live. I'm looking for a venue. And she goes, I'll hook you up on Monday. And so then I said, I met your husband. I said, you guys fit. So then he walks over. And as soon as he walks over, we're now standing like a little triangle. Nothing was lost, and I was getting imagery as well. And he comes and he says to me, before he says anything, he walks up to us and he says, our auras are purple. And I said, yeah, I know. Yeah. So, and then there was just like this whole divine union frequency. I started getting Kundalini in my feet, went right up to my, right up into my root and sacral, into my spine a little bit, a little bit higher. And Morgan was right there. And that was another thing that happened. I'm talking to this lady and she looks at me. And the purple, now he was standing there by this time. And the purple just got really bright. And she looks at me in the eyes and she says, I'm really going to do this for you. And as she's doing it, she turns into Morgan. I'm like looking at Morgan. Like I could see that. And then she looked at her husband because she said, we've been through a lot. And the way she said it wasn't victim consciousness. It was like reverence
Acknowledgement
for themselves, yeah. Right? And she looked at him. And when she looked at him and just, I don't know what she said or if she said anything, I could just see the love. Now I saw her again. It was Morgan looking. I swear, I saw her face. I'm the only one that saw it, but So then I looked at him, and he starts talking to me, and I'm seeing my face because he starts talking about her to me. Yeah, it was just this wild.
That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is. Is you're seeing yourself within that, and you're seeing the mirror, the beautiful universal mirror, and that's just the expansion of love.
Yeah.
In the creation. By the way, I actually had a dream that you were having in someone's that was familiar.
What?
And
having what?
The Zoology Fest. And I saw somebody building something or doing something there. I don't know if it has to do with the stage or something, but I saw them getting the place ready um, for the energy. It was interesting.
I saw, I'm seeing like when Morgan connects, like I was seeing with the depth, I guess because you're my sister, but I saw it. I actually saw it happening. It was like making a big pressure in my third eye, and I saw the location, and it looks similar to that area that I was at, where it was actually in front of the town, where this part of the river runs through it. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I've spent a lot of time doing what I'm doing. Morgan and I, and Soulogy in general, and I look at these, and I admit this. And this is a program. I mean, I look at these other platforms, and I look at the substance or lack thereof. I look at the topics. I look at the clickbait titles or the modest and humble titles. I mean, I look at everything. Like everything in life, right? And sometimes I'll be like, man, we're just not doing it. Now that's not really bugging me anymore, but I still notice the difference. You'd have to combine all of our platforms to really see what we do, but still there's some big platforms out there. But I've been getting this message for the last few weeks. Like there's a big change, and the big change is happening this month. And maybe it's just me. This is always the biggest month for me. But one of the things that's been coming in has been to almost like that's being revealed is the frequencies, no matter whether they're one person, two, three, group, whatever, where there's a field of this high frequency that hasn't gotten, like, let's say, mainstream numbers, but that it's expanding. So like my account of going to my friends that live on top of the mountain, what you're saying is that was like a high frequency experience that's going to become more common. Or even like today with you, like I don't even know what to say. I'll never look at you the same. I mean, you're my sister, man. This is cool. That's the best part. But
Yeah,
I guess I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't mean to be so long winded, but I'm totally out of my body. But this experience with you this morning, with everybody here, because it is everybody, not even just the live replay too. Whoever comes into contact, there is no time, linear time, right? So they're all contributing at this point. We're all contributing, but it's just such a breath of fresh air to have this type of exchange on Monday, first show, and I believe it's gonna continue. So that's my way of
yeah,
saying thank you too.
of course. I mean, this is the dream. This is the part that I see you wanting to create, and I know
Mm.
that I've been able to see that, and I had a like when since I connected with you, I said I got a giant push in the frequency, and both me and you had extraordinary experiences with the cosmic mother,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And it's still giving us that thing. It's just what is being created and what's that being a part of. I feel heartily believe that these connections that are being made of platforms just like Zoology that are out there,
Mm-hmm.
that are really bringing in this new earth frequency to not only for the community, but to really allow them to grow. And how Ali likes to say it is in the state of witnessing, because we're seeing that in everybody. And I love the glow up for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. What you said. And
Okay, I know you have to go because you have your next show coming up, right?
in an hour. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go in a minute. No. Okay. But to your point, because I want to be clear about this. And now listening to you, of course, you know, plugging into you, it went to a higher level, and that's why I want to say it. But so, it's one thing I was thinking in terms of Soulogy, and and I've always understood Soulogy. Everyone's Soulogy. Everyone is. It doesn't matter. You're in Soulogy whether you like it or not. That's just the way it works. So Soulogy is just a word, but I'm thinking in those terms, in kind of a short-sighted thing. And the reality is, like I saw two today, two little videos that two different women had put up, and I just plugged into them for a second, and they weren't very long, and I didn't stay very long, but I could feel the energy. And they were like 26 views and 95 views, but that applies to them. That's Soulogy. And Soulogy just being a word. We can call it the Holy Spirit, whatever you want, but that, what you just said, we're talking in regard to Soulogy or platforms like Soulogy, but you know what? It's those people. It's those individual souls and those collaborations between two women, or, you know, a man and a woman, and, you know, doing a broadcast, doing a show. I'm seeing more and more people do it. And that's the point of what you said at the end to me. It's not about Soulogy as a platform or other platforms like Soulogy or bigger platforms. It's these little, they're not little, they're the biggest, right? It's the individual claiming that sovereignty and actualizing that sovereignty that you're speaking of, which is, we know, not the human definition.
Yeah. And it always reminds me of the mycelium. Because whenever we're connecting, because even Facebook has, as a platform, whatever it has, it's still part of that energetic frequency in the mycelium, where somebody's plugging in and putting that energetic frequency where it flows. And wherever it lands, it's going to end up getting energetic codes for people.
It's my sister. I don't know what you've been smoking, but I want some of that. No, it's beautiful. Thank you for being so open. I love you. And yeah, I sent a text to your sisters today. I haven't sent them a text in probably a month. I know everybody's been doing their own thing, but yeah, we should have a little powwow in the teepee. So there she is,
yeah.
Delia, Delia from outer space. For those of you who haven't met her, you might have seen her in some of her other multidimensional suits, such as that purple feline thing with the two purples with the lightning bolt thing on her face and all that.
It's funny you say that, because there is actually a coat that I have that is similar to that. And I have not even finished or even really started, but I was already given the colors.
Really?
And yeah. So, and it's always the feline energy that kind of comes out a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's still there. I can still see it. All right, we'll be back in 45 minutes to get mind blown again by another divine feminine. I'm going to go grab my second cup of coffee, and hopefully I can stay plugged in. But thank you, Delia. I love you, and it's beautiful to see all of us blossoming.
Indeed. Love you too, brother.
I'll reach out to you like real soon.
No problem.